There's a building that's been the tallest on Earth for 15 straight years. No one's come close to touching it, but right now, in the middle of the desert, a tower that was left half-finished and abandoned for 7 years is suddenly coming back to life. And it's not just trying to be tall, it's trying to break 1 kilometer, the first building ever to hit that height. When this thing was announced, people called it impossible. Then politics killed it. The main funders got arrested. Construction froze. For years, it just sat there, a concrete skeleton baking in the sun. But now, it's climbing again. 75 floors and counting as of December 2025. If they finish it, the current champion loses its crown. This is the story of 2 towers, one that's ruled the sky for over a decade, and one that's literally rising from the dead to take it down. Let's get into it. The King, Burj Khalifa. Let me tell you about the tower everyone's trying to beat. Burj Khalifa in Dubai, 828 meters tall, 163 floors. Been the world's tallest since January 4th, 2010. When they opened it, they threw a party with 10,000 fireworks. The whole world was watching. But here's something wild. The tower was supposed to be called Burj Dubai. Then, right before the ceremony, Sheikh Mohammed renamed it Burj Khalifa to honor the UAE president who basically saved Dubai from bankruptcy during the 2008 financial crisis with a massive bailout. The tower was that close to never getting finished. But it did, and when it opened, it didn't just beat the old record holder, Taipei 101, by a little bit. It demolished it. Burj Khalifa is 320 meters taller. That's like stacking a 100-story building on top of Taipei 101. The engineering behind it is insane. The foundation alone sits on around 200 massive concrete piles, drilled 40-plus meters into the ground to hit solid rock. Above that, the building is shaped like a Y with 3 wings wrapping around a central core. That shape isn't just for looks. It's designed to break up wind so the building doesn't sway too much. They poured 330,000 cubic meters of concrete, enough to fill 132 Olympic swimming pools, and used tens of thousands of tons of steel. The whole thing cost about $1.5 billion to build, and it paid off, big time. By the 2010s, the observation decks were pulling in millions of visitors every year. Today, Burj Khalifa and the area around it attract around 15 to 17 million people annually. The tower alone generates an estimated $600 million a year in ticket sales, not counting the hotels, apartments, offices, and shopping malls packed inside. But more than the money, Burj Khalifa changed Dubai's identity. Before 2010, Dubai was known for weird stuff. Indoor ski slopes in the desert, artificial islands shaped like palm trees. Cool, but kind of gimmicky. After Burj Khalifa, Dubai became a symbol of extreme ambition. Hollywood started using it in action movies. Architects studied it. Cities around the world started copying the playbook. For 15 years, no one has been able to knock it off the top, but one tower came really close, and then it stopped, until now. The challenger, Jeddah Tower. Just over a year after Burj Khalifa opened, Saudi Arabia announced something even crazier. Jeddah Tower, the world's first 1-kilometer tall skyscraper. Not 900 meters, not 950 meters, 1,000 plus meters, over a kilometer straight up. Officially, the design is around 1,008 meters, about 180 meters taller than Burj Khalifa. That's 3 times the height of the Eiffel Tower. It would reset every tall building list on the planet. And it wasn't going to be alone. The tower was designed as the centerpiece of Jeddah Economic City, a massive new waterfront development on the Red Sea worth around $20 to $26 billion. The tower itself, originally budgeted at $1.2 billion. Now estimates say closer to $26 billion for everything. To design it, they brought in the same architect who did Burj Khalifa, Adrian Smith. His team took the buttressed core design from Dubai and pushed it further, creating a 3-petal shape inspired by desert plants, with 3 wings spiraling around a central hexagonal core. As the tower goes up, it tapers dramatically, getting thinner and thinner to reduce wind resistance. But the real challenge was underground. Jeddah sits on much softer soil than Dubai, right next to the Red Sea. The ground is basically sand and weak rock. To hold up a building that's going to weigh close to 1 million tons, engineers had to drill around 270 massive concrete piles as deep as 110 meters, more than twice as deep as Burj Khalifa's foundation. Then they capped those piles with a 90-meter wide concrete raft basically a giant platform to spread out all that weight. Construction started in 2013, and for a while, it looked like it was actually going to happen. By early 2018, the tower had climbed to about 63 floors, roughly 250 to 300 meters tall, and then it just stopped. The 7-year dead zone. What happened wasn't an engineering problem, it was politics. In late 2017, Saudi Arabia launched this huge anti-corruption crackdown. Hundreds of businessmen and royals got arrested and detained. 2 of them? Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, the billionaire funding the tower, and Bakr bin Laden, whose company was actually building it. Overnight, the money disappeared. The contractors pulled out. Everything froze. From January 2018 to early 2025, 7 full years, not a single piece of new concrete went into that tower. It just sat there, a half-finished concrete skeleton in the desert, baking in the sun, surrounded by sand and rumors. People started calling it a failed megaproject, another big idea that would never happen. Dubai kept its crown by default because its only real challenger had basically died. But then, something changed. The resurrection. In 2023 and 2024, new contracts started getting signed. Saudi Bin Laden Group, the original contractor, got brought back in with a fresh $1.9 billion contract and a 42-month deadline to finish the tower. Construction officially restarted in early 2025 with new management, new funding, and a target opening of 2028, perfectly timed with Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 plan. And here's the thing, it's actually moving now. As of December 2025, the tower has climbed past 75 floors, and crews are averaging about 1 new floor every 3 to 4 days. The higher they go, the harder it gets. At some point, they'll have to pump concrete higher than Burj Khalifa's record of 606 meters. That means using chilled concrete mixes to prevent it from setting too fast in the heat. Then there's the elevator problem. Normal steel elevator cables get too heavy to lift themselves once you go past a certain height. Jeddah Tower's solution? Carbon fiber cables from a company called Kone, way lighter than steel, allowing elevators to travel 600 to 1,000 meters without breaking. Multiple elevator zones with sky lobbies, where people transfer between different shafts to keep things moving. If they pull this off, it'll be one of the most impressive engineering comebacks ever. Other towers that tried and failed. Jeddah isn't the only tower that's tried to beat Dubai. Back in 2016, Dubai itself announced a countermove, Dubai Creek Tower. Designed by Santiago Calatrava, it was supposed to be a cable-stayed tower, basically a giant needle held up by cables, reaching at least 1,300 meters. That would have been taller than both Burj Khalifa and Jeddah Tower. They started construction in 2016, poured the foundation. Then COVID hit in 2020, and everything stopped. In 2024, the developer quietly admitted the tower had been redesigned to be shorter than Burj Khalifa, so that's not happening. Kuwait has also been talking about Burj Mubarak Al Kabir, a 1,001-meter tower, as part of a massive $250 billion new city called Silk City. But it's been in planning for years. No construction has started. Timelines now say 2025 plus to 2040 plus, which basically means maybe never. And then there's the wildest one, Rise Tower in Riyadh. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund put out a call in 2025 for bids to build a 2-kilometer tall skyscraper, twice as tall as Burj Khalifa. If it ever gets built, it would make everything else look tiny. But right now, it's just renders and documents. No concrete, no steel, no timeline. Why it matters. So why does being the world's tallest matter so much? Because these buildings aren't just about height, they're about putting your country on the map. When the Empire State Building opened in 1931 during the Great Depression, it told the world America wasn't giving up. When the Petronas Towers went up in Malaysia in the 1990s, suddenly Kuala Lumpur was on the global stage. Taipei 101 did the same for Taiwan in the 2000s, proving they could do cutting-edge engineering in one of the most earthquake-prone places on Earth. Burj Khalifa supercharged that idea. It turned Dubai from that weird desert city with indoor skiing into a global icon, drawing 17 million visitors a year and generating $600 million annually just from the tower. Saudi Arabia is trying to do the exact same thing with Jeddah Tower. Put the country at the center of the conversation. The current scoreboard. So where do things stand right now in December 2025? Burj Khalifa, 828 meters, 163 floors, still champion since 2010. Merdeka 118 in Kuala Lumpur, 679 meters, 118 floors, second tallest completed building. Shanghai Tower, 632 meters, 128 floors, third place and tallest in China. Jeddah Tower, 75 plus floors completed, aiming for 1,008 meters, and an opening around August 2028. Will they actually finish? Honestly, the signs are good. The tower's already out of the ground. New contracts worth $2 billion are signed. It's tied to Vision 2030, which is a huge national priority. But there are risks. These mega projects depend on money and confidence. An oil crash, political instability, or another global downturn could freeze it again. For now, though, Jeddah Tower is the only kilometer-tall project actually being built. Final thoughts. So here's where we are. A 15-year champion that changed the game, and a challenger that died, came back to life, and is now climbing toward the sky again. Who do you think wins? Will Dubai keep its crown, or will Saudi Arabia finally take it? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious what you think. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe, because next up, we're diving into something wild. Tech companies are building tiny nuclear reactors, not for cities, but to power AI data centers that eat more electricity than entire countries. These aren't the huge reactors you're thinking of. These are miniature power plants designed to feed machines that never stop learning. It's one of the most controversial moves in tech right now, and it could completely change how we think about energy. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.